What is up, Jabronis? JJ back here with Snyder, Mangone, Uncle T, Robert Gomez, PGA Wyndham Championship, Sedgefield Country Club. Real quick, I'd just like to address the fact that there was somebody who we don't know yet posted something from the Run Pure Bets account which promoted Travis Mangone's pick, and I don't mean to like nullify it, but there's rules about the pick, and the rules are 50 to 1 or greater, and you're like sneaking really deep into that line at 35 to 1. Now, no disrespect, winner's answer, congrats. But, I mean, let's ask the panel. What do you guys think about that? Because what if we set that expectation where it's supposed to be 50 to 1, and you guys just give whatever you want, 20 to 1s, 10 to 1s? What's the thoughts? Uncle T, what about you? What do you think about Mangone's drop an answer at 35 to 1 inside the 50 to 1 part of the show?
If this was later in the show, I might give a more honest opinion, but I like Mangone, and we just started the stream here with our show, and I don't want to get on Mangone's bad side, so I'm going to plead the fifth. I'll let Snyder and Bobby handle this answer.
Snyder, thoughts?
I'll give a pass just this one time. Next time is coming, though.
Bobby, are you going to also give him a pass? I mean, what the hell happened to this show? We just all going to get passes?
You know, originally I was a little upset, to be quite honest, but dude, what a fucking call! So I can't hate on it.
Unbelievable. All right, well, not Mangone. The jury speaks. Everyone,
and real quick, I know Snyder, you said some nice things there, but I'm going to give you a pass for all the things you said about Bryson. Your boy finished behind him, so settle down over there, Mr. Snyder. Bryson went out there and laid it down on your boy Morikawa.
Hey, you know, Mangone, a blind squirrel finds an acorn every once in a while.
You know what, Snyder? You deserve it, though. Okay, I served you up Mangone on a platter. All right, and you just watch the ball go by you. So opportunity comes to Mangone. What does he do? Swing away.
Yeah, I mean, you know the tennis streets well, JJ. I mean, you throw that spike down, you go on to the next one, man.
I mean, I'd argue nobody spiked it in front of you, Mangone. You just kind of went reaching for it, but that's fine. No, good call last week with answer, and hopefully we can build that momentum into this week. Snyder, as far as this course goes, you want to just preview it real quick?
Yeah, Sedgefield Country Club here is a par 70, yardage around 7,100 yards. It's a less than driver golf course. Should be another birdie fest here, as the last 5 winners have been at that 20 under mark or better. We will once again see Bermuda grass greens here. Average green size around 6,000 square feet. The greens will be rolling at around 12 on the step meter. 6 holes will have water in play for your boy Gary Waterland. Some tree line fairway here. We'll put an emphasis on finding the fairway off the tee. 8 par 4s here will be in that 400 to 450 range, with 2 of them being over 500 yards. Both par 5s are reachable in 2, and you must score on these 2 holes as they concede birdies at a 50% rate or higher. Some key stats I'm looking at here: approach, birdies are better gained, fairways gained, strokes gained, putting with an emphasis on Bermuda, and opportunities gained.
I'm going to say this right now as I look at this watered-down field. There will be no Louis Oosthuizen slander tolerated on this show by any means. He had another decent showing where, outside of a bit of a Sunday blow-up, dropped him, I think, into the 20s, but another good showing, and I would expect the same from here. So just throwing out the disclaimer, no Oosthuizen slander. Uncle T, good with that?
Yeah, let me make sure I had that written down to get on him. Let me work that. I got it, though. Yep, move on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So DFS, Mangone, you can deserve the numero uno spot after your legendary 35 to 1 call during the 50 to 1 segment last week. So we'll start with you with DFS, and this usually can go a few different directions with you. But top value play, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I really want to just go off the board and rip Louis Oosthuizen just because it's the opposite of what you want, but I can't. I think it's a pretty good spot for Louis at the top, but I will stay on brand and just mention way too many guys for you. The main guy we got to talk about is Webb Simpson. I'm sure people will talk about him, but it is the course horse, right? If there is anyone that absolutely crushes it, right? JJ, we know your dad crushes it in Atlantic City. Webb Simpson crushes it in Wyndham, right? He named his daughter Wyndham. So this is his course. Absolutely loves it. I think he's too cheap DFS wise. I don't think he's a great bet because I think everyone's just on that, and I think it's just better for DFS. Like him at the top. I'd say I like a lot of guys in like the 8K-ish range that I think I'm going to dive into. Like Streel Daddy is back, so I can't wait for that. He's also, not that he's a course horse, but this is an area that he grew up on and has played out a little bit. So I like Mr. Streel Daddy a lot. As usual, I think he's a really good play. Henley's another guy popped up that I like. In the 8K range, I like Charles Schwartzel as another option that I think is a pretty good guy that I'm going to go to. And one of my cheapies that I'm a big fan of is Mr. Ryan Armour at 7K. He'll be one of the value plays I'm liking.
Well, there's really not many guys left. There's really not many guys left, guys. But DFS wise, who do you like this week?
Did you say me?
Yeah, sorry, Snyder.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. For DFS this week, I like my boy Mito Pereira. I've been on him ever since he came to the tour. He's been hitting ball striking really well. 75% greens or better his last 4 events. He's finished inside the top 6 twice in his last 4 events. Great birdie maker. He's made 19 or more birdies in his last 4 events, and he has shown some eagle upside. So that is one guy I'll be overweight on. And the other guy I'm going to look at here is Bobby McIntyre. I think this course sets up well for him here. He's been hitting the irons really well. He plays these par 4s really strong over his last 4 to 5 events. 15th last week, 8th at the Open, and those are strong fields. And he comes to this easier track now with that more watered down field. So I really like the upside with him here this week.
P, how about you? What do you like for DFS?
Yeah, first off, before I get into those, I cashed my bet under 5 minutes into the show when someone mentioned that Rod Simpson named his kid Wyndham after the tournament. So, Mangone, you got that in with 4 minutes and 42 seconds into the show. So, thank you very much. It earned Uncle T a $100 winner. So,
yeah, I'm just here to provide Uncle T. If you go get lunch with that, be sure to invite me as well, Uncle T.
Hey, you guys are always invited to lunch. Mangone knows I take care of my lunch bets. So, but no, hey, those are some really good calls. For me, DFS wise, a lot of the value that I like is not in the 9 and 10K range. It's down in the mid 8K range and then below. Like in the 8K range, I really think Kevin Kisner and Charles Schwartzel are very good values in that range as far as relative to their odds to win the whole tournament. And then down below a little bit, I love the Pereira call, but just to get a little different, Taylor Gooch, I think is 45 or 50 to 1, and he's down there at 7,700. So, for me, I kind of, like I said, I like a lot of these guys in the 8K range down this week. So I might try to pair them up with just Webb Simpson up top and get way overweight on Webb, fade the rest of the 10K range, and just kind of see what happens. This 8K or lower 8K and 7K range is completely loaded this week.
Awesome. Bobby, how about yourself? What do you like?
Yeah, for me, probably around, I'm kind of in the same boat as Uncle T and Mangone. I like Russell Henley, Charles Schwartzel. Henley, good iron player. Schwartzel's irons are coming on. I really like Schwartzel just overall. Just his whole game's kind of rounding into form. So I think I'm going to lean on Schwartzel at 8,100 and also play a little bit of Russell Henley over the field as well.
Awesome. So we could slide over to outrights, and this is the part of the show where it's a pretty simple question. Pick a guy that's 50 to 1 or worse. Sometimes the folks on this show get this part of the game right. I know it's a difficult part of the show. I mean, I can attest to that. It's harder than people think. But 50 to 1 or worse. Mangone, we'll start with you, who usually gets this part right. Usually, 50 to 1 or worse. Who do we like this week as an outright with value?
Gosh, I mean, I would love to just fire with like a nice 35 to 1 right now, but I'm not going to do that because I have a guy that's a pretty long shot that I'm a fan of. I already just talked about him. He's a guy that if you look at all those stats, right, Snyder listed them off. He rattled them. The fairways gained, the birdie makers, elite iron guy. It's Mr. Ryan Armour. He's a pretty deep shot. 100 to 1. I've seen 80 to 1 on some books, but you can, if you shop around, JJ, I tell you to shop. Pinnacle's got like 83 to 1. I would shop around. You can get 100 to 1, I'm sure, on some other book because Ryan Armour is a good call.
DK's 100 to 1. Okay, Mangone. Okay. Snyder, who do you like as a long shot outright?
I like Mito Pereira again. He's 65 to 1. If you want to dip down to like a guy 3-digit wise, I like Roger Sloan, 110 to 1.
Awesome. Uncle T, who do you like?
Yeah, Joey Work, our boy Joey Work from the bet side, hopping in the chat asking Mangone about his shirt. So I'm not really sure what that's about. Is that the same shirt as last week, Mangone?
Yeah. It's, he
I mean,
says,
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just wanting a clarification for Joe.
He says I'm still wearing it. Yeah, I mean, I will say it's probably one of those things. I don't know if I've washed it since. It definitely looks like it hasn't been, but I don't wear it all the time. And I'll wear it on my way to, take care of business, Joey, work on that Garden State Parkway if you'd like. So, I can meet you at that bowling alley with JJ. We can throw it out.
Did Mangone just imply that he would meet Joey work on the Parkway and beat his ass? I mean, is that?
Well, and he also implied that he was getting ready to go take care of business. Now you could have taken that one of two ways, right? And I definitely wasn't taking it the one way, but
I mean, sleeveless Mangone after an outright winner should be more of the norm on this show. Uncle T, what about your longest shot?
Yeah, I like those calls, actually. I really do. Armour was one of the guys I had written down at 100-1. I also like Kevin Kisner in that mid 8K range, like I mentioned earlier, 55-1 on Kevin Kisner. He's won before, and he definitely is a veteran guy out there. And again, in a field that's less than elite, to say the least, I think Kevin Kisner, he's played well recently, and he's got a couple top tens, I think, in that Snyder, maybe for Kiz. Yeah, a couple top tens, and it's been a while since he's played here. Before last year, he finished third, but before that, it was a couple years. But hey, Kevin Kisner, 55-1, and I do like that Armour call at 100-1.
Love it. Bobby, how about yourself? What do you like?
I'm gonna go Strill Daddy 50-1. Obviously, hasn't had the history, but I don't know. I like Charles at 45-1, but I can't pull Mangone unless Charles wins, and like Mangone's answer, pick one. There you go, Charles. But
I mean, you've done some bold things on this show, Bobby. You've picked John Rahm as the winner, so you can definitely take a bold stance and go out of your way and say Charles Schwartzel.
You sure you don't want Webb this week?
Who's the best play that week? You want to do
that? We haven't gotten there. Who knows? Bobby might like Webb to win it this week. You never know.
I always like Webb. I always like Webb.
Mangone, tournament winner. What are we thinking?
Yeah, tournament winner at the top. It's tough, man. I say this, I don't love the top range as much. I kind of like taking a lot of shots on the guys that were discussed, right? I like taking shots on a lot of these 40-1, 50-1s, and I guess I can take one of those right now, right? But I do say, I like building my card out, not as much towards the top, right? I do like building it down, probably more towards the 40 and 50-1 range. So I'll go with Russell Henley. I think Henley has the game to get it done here. I worry about him a little off the tee, but I think overall Henley has the iron play to get the job done this week. So I'm going to go with Russell Henley as my guy. I believe 30-1 is where I've seen him. Again, shop it around. I'm sure you can find some better lines in different spots. Some spots you'll see it at 25-1 or even 24-1, and then some spots you'll probably see it at 40-1.
Awesome. Snyder, tournament winner. Who do you like?
Well, Mangone took my guy. I was going to go with Russell Henley because I don't want to go up to the chalk with Webb or whatnot, but I mean, you could look at Bobby McIntyre right there, 36-1. I like him as well. He sets up really well for here, like I had mentioned earlier. So I'll go with him instead.
Okay. You said he was 36-1?
Yeah, on FanDuel I'm looking at.
Okay. Uncle T, who do you think wins it?
Yeah, like I mentioned in the DFS segment, I don't care as much for the 9 and 10K range outside of Webb. Again, getting way overweight on Webb and more or less fading from a DFS standpoint for the most part, those ranges. But my winner, as far as outright, or not outright, but our winner for this segment, I'm going to go with Brian Harman. He's 22-1. He hasn't really gotten talked up a whole lot. I just listened to the Strokes Gain show with Hoop and Snyder and AP and just some other things. And I think Harman, we've been on him quite a bit this year. He went through a little bit of a tailspin. He doesn't hit it long off to tee. The course feels like it sets up really well for him. And again, in a less than elite field, Harman is more than good enough to win this tournament. And I don't think he's getting enough traction. So from a winning, output, 22-1 feels pretty good price for Brian Harman.
Awesome. Bobby, who do you like to win the tournament?
I take Charles here, 45-1. Everything's clicking for Charles. Irons are coming back. So pretty much everything kind of fits in terms of all the key stats.
Was that Schwartzel? Who'd you say?
Yeah, Schwartzel.
Okay.
Schwartzel, yeah.
45-1. All right. We could slide over to top 20s, Mangone. We just going to be riding the wave here with some of your guys you like, or you've already said on the show, or are we doing something new? What do you like for top 20s?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably ride some of the guys that I've already mentioned. So let's see. Again, those are a lot of the guys that I'm kind of targeting DFS wise. Let me see. Where's Streelman's number? Is Streelman? I'm looking on FanDuel because that's the Snyder. That's typically the book that's the best for these odds, correct? The top
Most
20.
often.
FanDuel, correct.
Yes. So I just want to make sure we get the best number possible because that's what we try to do here at Run Pure Bets. I'll go with Streelman at plus 230. It would not be a show without me mentioning Streel Daddy JJ and mentioning him way too much. So we'll slam him top 20. We'll slam him top 10. We'll slam him top 5. Streel Daddy season. I like him a lot here. So I'm definitely going to be on Mr. Kevin Streelman, and hopefully he can get the job done putting on these undulated greens, as Snyder calls them.
Who's the best number you saw there for him on top 20, Mango?
Plus 230 on Streelman.
Plus 230. Okay.
And if you have like the legal books, right? Like FanDuel's one of those that's probably the better book for some of these bets, the top 20s, top 10s, and stuff like that.
Also, I know that you guys didn't want to go the chalk, with your who wins the tournament. I mean, my boy Louis Oost sitting there at 16-1. He's not the favorite. I mean, with no love at all.
I'm going to exclude myself from this segment.
So, I will say this. I don't hate the idea of doing it, but the problem is like Louis never won on he's won before, right? But he's never won on like the PGA Tour, right? Like it just feels very like Finau, right? I mean, we slandered Robert for all the Finau stuff that one day. Like I don't know. I know Answer was a guy that like he finally got that win. I wouldn't be shocked if this was the week that Louis got the win, right? I believe Louis actually lost a playoff here once. So Snyder, is that correct? Louis lost a playoff here once?
I'm not for sure about that. I'm not sure on his course history here, but I will say that when I was looking at some matchups earlier, and Webb Simpson was a minus 155 favorite over Louis, which is pretty big, I thought.
I think I would take Louis over Webb there just because of how well Louis is playing. And I think that line is inflated, kind of like JJ, when we did these videos, you talked about, I believe you were betting against DJ a bunch because like, it's just absurd because the guys are coin flips, right? Between DJ and Justin Thomas, at least at the time when we were doing those videos. Like, I just think that the market is all in on Webb because of all these narratives, right? So I think that betting Louis there on those matchups is pretty smart. And there's a lot of value on Louis with the way he's playing. He's just been unbelievable.
Awesome. And then real quick, Snyder, before I get to you on the top 20, those Zalatoris love, guys?
Not for me. I mean, we've liked him a little bit this year since he's, come onto the scene, but I don't think this is a course at all for him. And him priced up at 10-3 on, from a DFS perspective, and he's, 28-1 outright. So I guess maybe, you could maybe get some exposure to him in an outright just because the price is, kind of large. But no, I can't do it. Not at that price tag.
If you're betting Zalatoris, you're betting the outright, like Uncle T said,
Right.
because he needs to win in order to get into the FedEx Cup. Even though he's ranked like 25th in points, he's not invited. He has to win to get the invite. So that's how I would be betting Zalatoris. And I will say Zalatoris, there's been some really good quotes about him this week about how he likes these greens. He likes them fast. And he is a good off the tee and approach player. So I don't hate it. If you do want to take the shot on Zalatoris, though, you're taking the outright to win. I wouldn't put him in a matchup. I wouldn't put him in anything else like that. Maybe you sprinkle the top 5, but he's going to be gunning for it, right? He's not going to be playing stuff safe. Even if he's like, 5 strokes back on Sunday, he's going to be trying to get it, right? He's not going to just be like, oh, let me play for a top 5. That's nice. I'll collect some money. He wants to be, in this FedEx Cup.
Agree.
Yeah,
100%.
I will say one thing about him. Great iron player, great approach player. I mean, the short game always holds him back, but he does have a lot of course history here, not event-wise, but he went to college here around the area at Wake Forest, and he's talked about playing this course 25 or so times in the past. So that gives him some upside, and he will be playing very aggressive this week, so it'll be like a boom-bust type of deal. I think if he can get that putter rolling to, even just break even, putt to a 0, I mean, I think he'll be right there. I mean, I'm not sure whether I'm going to play him or not, but
Snyder, when you get those iron players playing aggressive, right? Like we see, like that's when they just absolutely soar up to the top, right? So I definitely like betting the outright. I don't think it's a bad call at all.
I think to put a cap on it for me, guys, is if you wanted to get some exposure and to answer Andy's maybe comment, kind of fully, is he's going to be the lowest owned in this group, I think, by a decent margin. So if you wanted to play the ownership game and get some exposure to him and possibly fade Webb, which I don't think anybody on this show right here is going to do that. I just don't think it's the right way to go this week. But if you were to fade Webb and somehow go to Oosthuizen or Zalatoris or anyone else in that range, it'll definitely be a different route to go.
Awesome. Snyder, from a top 20 perspective, what do you like?
Yeah, I'm looking at Brandt Snedeker right here. He's finished inside the top 20 at the 3M Open 11th, and at the Open he finished 19th. He's at plus 280 right here. He's got really good course history here too. He's finished inside the top 5 3 times in his last 6 trips, including a win in 2018 where he shot 59 one of the rounds. I like that. And like a guy like even lower down, you can get like Brian Stewart. He's plus 450. He's had 3 top 15s in his last 4 events, and he's made the cut here his last 2 years. Short off the tee, but that shouldn't affect him here, as that should be mitigated with this less than driver track. So I like him as well.
Nice. Now, every time I hear Snedeker's name, it just reminds me of that one show, Mangone, with you, Uncle Big T. I forgot who else was on it, but you were talking up the putting greens and how it was big to be a good putter at this whatever course it was. And Snedeker, like the first hole, 3 putts from 10 feet out, and he's just like buried and never makes it back. Do you remember what course that was? I don't even remember what course it was.
I can't remember last time I played Snedeker, so I'm not sure.
I just remember Big T being
He's been
all
solid lately.
It has been a while, but we haven't talked about Snedeker yet. Like, I do think it's not a bad week for Snedeker, right? Like,
I think somebody mentioned him earlier, Snyder or somebody mentioned him. So
was it?
I do have some interest in him this week from a DFS. I think he's pretty cheap, but
yeah, he's made 9 of his last 10 cuts as well. I think he makes for a good solid value in that range.
Yep.
What do you think of top 20, Uncle T?
Yeah, I'm hoping to keep my top 20 streak going. They've been treating me better than any other kind of prop bet the last couple of weeks. I've really been hitting them good, which is again great because my other ones haven't been doing as well. So I got 2 for you this week. I got Charles Schwartzel, and again, I'm getting these at DK Sportsbook, so you guys may be able to get a better number. I don't have access to the FanDuel here, but Charles Schwartzel plus 180 to top 20, and then a little bit further down, I just
real quick, Uncle T plus 250 on FanDuel, right? Again, like
even better.
He's going to say price shop like that. That's a huge gap. So
yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And then maybe you can give me. I got Ryan Armour plus 400. I just feel like it's just incredible odds. I mean, throw $50 down on Ryan Armour at that kind of price tag. It just feels really, really long. So I'll go with those 2, Schwartzel and Ryan Armour.
Awesome. Great. Now, Bobby, you can double up here with Armour.
Yeah, I'm
Come on, Bobby, come on in with me.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Arm in arm.
4 top 25s for Armour here. Like, has top 10 potential. I like the Armour call also on Schwartzel.
Mangone, do you want them to slide in your DMs at minus 800 for you to be on the other side?
No, I love Ryan Armour. So Bobby knows I have a Ryan Armour problem. I mean, I've been on him for probably years, so I do like playing him. So there's no chance. I will be arm in arm. Get me a sweatshirt. I'll be right next to Bobby in his cold house. So I'm definitely.
I just see that. Yeah, I've been looking at that tweet for like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, are you wearing a long sleeve shirt right now, Bobby?
Like Douglas said.
When we do get a magical invite to Robert's house, yeah, I mean, I'm bundling up. I am bundling up.
I keep it cold, dude. It is summer, yeah. I have a central air. Whatever, I need it as cold as possible.
Bobby needs it as cold as possible so his ice cream doesn't melt when he's eating.
That's right. That's right. We haven't seen the ice cream since the Finau take, and hopefully we never see the ice cream again. Hopefully you've just been consistently avoiding dairy since that show, Bobby. Hopefully. Mangone, matchup. Who do you like this week, or maybe just even a target or a fade for matchups?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already gave the one. I really think the way to target is like Louis over Webb. I just think you get value. Like, I understand. I don't think Webb's going to do bad or anything, but I don't think Louis is going to do bad at all either. I mean, I don't see Louis just randomly missing the cut. DFS-wise, yeah, it's tough to play Louis and Webb, right? I'm not expecting you to do that, but I think there's just natural value on shopping that around and grabbing Louis over Webb because I think it's just overinflated for people just pounding Webb all week long. So I think that's a really good way to approach it.
Is that plus 125, Mangone?
Yeah, I mean, I can look real quick. I know it was minus 155. Snyder, you said what was the number on Louis? Do you have that?
Webb was minus 155 over Louis. I don't know. It's probably like plus 120 or something, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'll grab it. I'll grab it real quick so you can put it in there, JJ.
Okay, I'll put 125. It's either 120 or 125. Snyder. What matchup you like?
I like Russell Henley against Sung J M. Russell Henley is a -120. I think he sets up well for this course. I'm not on Sung J this week. Price seems a little high for him. I don't think he's got as good of like top five, top 10 win equity as Henley. I'll be fading Sung J M in matchups then.
Awesome. Uncle T, from matchups, any type of fade, or you got a specific matchup you like?
Yeah, I do have a specific matchup, and this is actually one of my favorite plays of the week. I'll probably go pretty heavy on this. I like Kevin Kisner -110 over Justin Rose. Excuse me, -110 over Justin Rose. I just feel like this is. I feel like it's a slam dunk. Kevin Kisner has been playing pretty well lately. He has good course history, and Justin Rose has been a disaster recently. So if Justin Rose beats me on this matchup, hey, I have no problem. You know what I mean? Calling it an L for Uncle T and moving on. But I really feel like Kisner in this matchup is really tasty.
Uncle T, good news. I will not be sliding in your DMs to take Justin Rose. That sounds like a terrible idea. If anyone wants to, feel free to slide.
I couldn't imagine clicking his name.
As a neutral party, like, I hate the way this show has become. I mean, nobody wants to slide into anybody's DMs. Nobody's making bets with anybody. It's just a bunch of.
Snyder had a chance to rip Mangone at the top of the show. Yeah. He didn't do it.
I serve you guys meatballs to attack Mangone, and everyone's like, "Nah, I'm good." Like,
it's just like any good WWE episode, right? Like, there's still 4 minutes for a nice heel turn. You never know, JJ. We'll see what happens.
Robert, favorite matchup or fade?
I'm going to go Taylor Gooch. Someone hit on Taylor Gooch at the beginning of the show, -105 over Kevin Na. Kevin Na's favored, -125. I like the Gooch call. Who hit on Gooch at the beginning of the show? Is it you, Uncle T?
Yeah, I like Gooch a lot. I like that call.
Now, real quick, Snyder, I do have a question, right? So I think people are playing Taylor Gooch this week, and I think it's a terrible idea. Now, tell me I'm wrong.
Hey, our first slide into DMs. Let's go.
I think his iron play is great, right? The thing I'm hung up on is the off the tee game. It seems like a disaster, at least from what I've seen. Agree, disagree? Am I looking at the wrong stuff? That's what I thought I saw when I was.
You don't need to be great here off the tee. I mean, it's a short track, so I don't think.
But you need to be accurate with your drives off the tee. So maybe I need to look more into the driving accuracy as well and some of the fairways gained.
Yeah.
But I do have worries that he's not accurate enough off the tee where he's not setting up his second shot properly.
But I don't think he'll be hitting driver as much on this course than he would on a normal course. I think he'll be hitting more like driving iron or a 3-wood off this tee. I mean, he has been super consistent making cuts. He's made 11 of his last 12 cuts, and he did finish 25th here last year.
Now Mangone got me second guessing.
No, I mean that's the one guy I don't know the
come off there.
That's the guy I don't know the answer on yet. That I was gonna, when I was gonna do the whole like Snyder, here's my question for you. That was my question because I don't know how to approach Taylor Gooch yet because I think
hold your ground, Bobby.
I think Taylor Gooch is fine, but
I'm with you,
sure, he has a top 25 last year, but he did miss the cut the other 2 years before.
Yeah, I think he's good. Made cut equity. I think he has that going here.
Tells you what's his prop. -250 to make the cut.
I mean, you're not paying an arm and a leg for this guy. He's
Right now,
700 in a watered down field.
Finished 25th.
I think there could be better guys in this range. So, Uncle T, if you want to slide right in, I'll take Ryan Armour against him.
I mentioned Armour in twice this show.
I know. I'm just saying that's who I would take. That's all.
Yeah, that 7K range is just absolutely loaded.
That's my point. That range is really good. Like I think there's a lot of good guys. I know this is bet show too, but I think DFS wise, that's the guy I'm looking at that I'm not as excited about. I just want to get Snyder's take on it to see. And if he's not going to be using driver as much, that could be helpful. I probably do need to dig into some of the fairways gained and all that stuff. And I think that might help give me more of an answer that I need.
Yeah, I think this course has like the highest fairways gain percentage of any course on tour. I think it's on average, the golfer will hit a fairway at I thought I seen 73, 74% on average, which is way higher than a normal course, but they're hitting many more 3-woods and stuff off the tee.
Yeah, but I mean, so I just pulled up fairways gain, right? I know we're kind of on a long tangent, but he's in the last 12 rounds, Gooch is 103rd, right? He's last 24 rounds. Let's see. He's 104th in fairways gained. I don't know. I just have some question marks with him. That's it.
Awesome. So final notes. Mangone, I know that we kind of went on a bunch of little tangents there, which is great. Obviously, the conversation is excellent. Combativeness is always preferred. Mangone, any last notes or final notes on this course? Targeting, DFS, betting, anything?
No, I didn't force the heel turn there to make fun of Taylor Gooch, but I just think he's bad chalk. There we go. I said it. So you can play Taylor Gooch. I'll play Ryan Armour. And, I'm going to play some 8K guys, Dunkel, and I'll see you at the top. I feel good about this week. The Wyndham Championship is going to be a fun one. And we get to sweat the cuts again, right? I hate the no cut. Uncle T hates the no cut. Ban no cuts. I like the cut sweat, and it should be a fun time.
Snyder, any final notes on the course? Anything you're targeting? Do you want to DFS, betting, whatever?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this event. This will be our last event with a cut for probably 4 or 5 weeks, I think, because right after this, we're going to move into the playoffs, and that'll be 3 straight weeks of no cut events, followed by, I think, a week or so off, and then hits right into the swing season. But yeah, I think this the lower range has way more win equity than normal. I think you're going to see, like DFS wise, I think you're going to see a lot of these guys in that 7K range finish better than a lot of the guys in the 8-9K range. And I'm playing Webb this week. I think Webb's a great play. I mean, I can't imagine fading him here, especially how he played in that 4th round at the WGC. He shot 64 and just looked to have everything in play there again. So we'll be looking forward to that. And yeah, it should be a good week.
Yeah, real quick before I go to you, Uncle T, from a DFS perspective, a guy like Webb Simpson at this course is minus 110 to finish in the top 10. Is not even like the highest priced guy, right? I'm not sure actually off the top of my head.
Well, he should be, in my opinion.
And so, his ownership's got to be ridiculous this week. I mean, even if you don't think he's going to win, just between price, the betting odds, obviously all the narratives, does it actually make sense if this week was to be able to put in a simulator and done 1,000 times? Does it actually make more sense to fade Webb Simpson here?
No,
it still doesn't.
No,
so even if you knew Webb was 70% owned,
well, he's not going to be 70% owned. But Snyder and I were talking earlier today. The high dollar stuff for sure. He's going to get upwards of 40, 45%. I don't think he's going to get too much higher than that. But I'm one of the ones that usually likes to try to, figure out a different route or go all the way in on him. I'd be more inclined to. I'll probably have 5 teams this week, and I'd be more inclined to go all in on him than to fade him, JJ, in this particular case.
Hey, yeah, just trying to figure out exactly what your guy's thought process is there, because obviously a guy like Webb here.
If you fade him, not to interrupt, but if we fade him here, and again he wins or finishes second or what have you, and you don't have him, you're going to be in bad shape. You're going to be in tough sledding. You know what I mean? So.
The other thing I want to mention with Webb is if he gets 15th, right? People will sometimes be like, that's not good. It's it's not the end of the world, right? I mean, if I I want him to miss the cut. I mean, Bobby, not everyone is trying to sit out here and play for the 200K top prize, but sometimes you just want to fight another day too, right? It's not the end of the world. I don't think it's the greatest chalk to fade. You can make an argument. There's other guys in that range though that are interesting, right? Like a Louis Oosthuizen. And again,
I'm not allowed to mention him.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see a lot of guys at the top that Snyder talked about in that 7K range where. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Webb got T12 and you still ended up finding a way to win with some of the lower owned guys in the 7K range.
Yeah, usually I look for a reason to fade these guys. I faded Bryson at the Rocket Mortgage when he's in this exact same. You mentioned
Bryson one more time. You and I are going to have a talk.
But he's in this exact same situation. That worked out. I mean, Jordan Spieth, he was super high on 1 week. I ended up fading him. That was borderline working out. I think he finished 15th or 17th in that range. So it wasn't either way, but I think that this course, the way it sets up and how he's coming in off that final round, and just he has so much good history here, I can't see fading him this week.
I always look to fade these guys. He's approaching 30%, but this field's very watered down. It's easy to just eat the chalk or just take the field in MMA, in my opinion. I don't know if I'd go 2X. I don't mind Zally if he's going to be down there at 14%. Getting over on Louis. Louis going to win eventually. He just keeps putting bullets up there. I don't know. I wish there was someone else that was a little lower owned in this range, in the upper range that I liked. So I don't know. Maybe I
think it's a good week to leave $1,000 on the table. Even I think a lot of these 7K and 8K guys are going to be right there, I think. And it's, I mean, you see some of these guys in this 9K range. Like, I couldn't imagine paying for Fleetwood at 9.7. I couldn't imagine. I mean, Sung Jae will get some ownership. I can see that here and there. You got like Adam Scott 9.2, Bubba Watson 9K. I couldn't imagine playing those guys.
Where a lot of people are going to play, like if you're playing 2x Webb and you're playing MME, you're playing him at like 60%, or you could just play Louis and you're pretty much 3x if you're playing him at, if he hits like 20% and you play him at 60 and just play Webb at like the field. That would be kind of like the thought process, and then play Zally like 3x at 15%, so you're at 45. Maybe if you want, like if you think the win equity's up top and you have your group set that way. Snyder basically talked about all the win equity kind of being down in the low 7Ks.
JJ, can we get a hand check for Robert? He's talking about ownership. Can we get a hand check from Robert?
What'd you say?
We
Need a hand check from you after all that ownership talk in groups. Show your hand.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So Bobby, again, Mangone now, without being asked, just basically bashes you over the head like Bam Bam.
It's crazy.
You served a meatball earlier in the show.
With the nose sleeves, he's just
Mangone's the guy I respect. I mean, the foundations of the show is just disgusting. Anyway,
sometimes you got to put people through tables, JJ. It just has to happen.
I don't think people are going to play like both Louis and Webb together too. I think that's a great way to get different there. And with this low 7K range, I think you could fit those two. And there's a couple guys in that 6K range that you could fit in there too.
I could listen to us talk good things about Louis Oosthuizen for hours.
Louis gonna win eventually. Like it's coming. Yeah, I would definitely play Louis over Webb this week. I don't know. If I'm getting Louis at 20 and Webb at 30, just take the 10% discount on Louis.
Well, on FanDuel, you could play them together easy, I bet. I mean, the soft pricing over there. I haven't looked at it yet this week, but every week is so soft over there. You can play whoever you want.
I'm just talking about like in terms of my ownership.
Yeah,
it would be higher on Louis than it would be on Webb.
Uncle T, your final notes on the tournament. I know you love Louis in this spot, so feel free to go there if you'd like. What are your thoughts?
I mean, we've all been kind of arm in arm, right, all night. I can't do Louis. I'm going to play too much Webb. I like the idea that Snyder had to play them both. I get it. I definitely do. It's not a wrong thing to do. It's just not going to be for me this week. I'm just going to figure out a different way, leave money on the table or something. I'm not going to go Louis Oosthuizen at 10-7. I'm just not going to do it. But if he beats me at 10-7, he beats me. But as far as final notes, I agree with Mangone. I hate these no-cut events, so I'm happy to get back this week to a regular cut event. Next week, we go to Liberty National, where DJ is going to defend, and that will start the playoffs, which is, a fun 3 weeks of golf. Trying to get these guys through each level, right? What is it, 175 and then 30, or 170 and then 30?
125, 70, and then like 40, I believe, or something like that.
Gotcha. But yeah, just a fun 3 weeks, and look forward to being on the show with you guys next week to break down the Liberty National, the Northern Trust Open.
Awesome. So that is Snyder and Uncle T both going to be overweight on Webb, who's going to have decent numbers as it is. Interesting. Bobby, what's your final notes here?
Yeah, I'm happy that it's not a no-cut event, and there's actually a cut this week, and it sucks that we're kind of hitting a string of weeks where there's going to be pretty much all no cuts, so get your action down this week.
That would have been a perfect time, Bobby, for you to just continue your game theory and lineup optimization. Because the final notes is, do whatever you want. I mean, you could have just picked up right where you left off. I mean, that would have been pretty awesome.
It's nice to have a nice 30 seconds to speak on the show. It's pretty good.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching tomorrow or even Thursday before the tournament starts. Thank you, as always, for watching. Tomorrow we'll have tennis. Also, from a golf perspective, Uncle T, is there a golf show tomorrow, or where that's always going to be Tuesdays from here on out?
No, it'll be Tuesdays for a couple more weeks. I think it's going to be the Tour Championship, possibly. We're going to add a show on Wednesday, and then obviously after the Tour Championship, I think there might be a week off, Snyder, right? And then they get into the fall swing.
I think
we'll get on more of a rotation of having the Tuesday Strokes Gain and the Wednesday Pen Seeker show, I think, going forward after that time frame. So I think a couple more weeks before the Wednesday show will start.
Great. Yeah, and runpuresports.com. And do you know all the exacts, bells and whistles going on at Run Pure Sports?
Yeah, RPS NFL 15% off on the bets or the DFS side. They work for both. They get you a monthly lifetime. Basically you're locked into that price. So be sure to use that code. You use Get Bets if you want to get the bet side for free. And we got all the content you need, right? We got PGA, we got Summer League, NBA. I mean, if you're really degenerate hard, there you go. We got it all over here at Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bets. Don't miss out.
Love it. That was actually pretty good, Mangone. I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse, actually.
I could have used a little more energy.
It's a part of this network, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You've definitely seen worse.
Dry. It was a little dry. It had like a Ron Burgundy feel to it, but outside of the dryness, it was pretty good. Like every
sport, one price.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a Hoop. I mean, Hoop does it. You can't top Hoop when he comes.
Hoop's very good at it. Very good at it.
Hoop nice crushed it.
Mangone's too nice a guy. He can't be mean.
Oof.
Uncle T, show up next week. I'll find a ladder.
But yes, thank you for watching, folks. We'll have a tennis video tomorrow. Spread myself potentially, pending a few things. Susie should be on as well. And then we have more baseball from Joey Work tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be back on Thursday night with baseball. More live shows over the weekend with UFC. NASCAR is back as well. Baseball shows. Just going to be busy content all week again. So thanks again, as always, folks, for watching. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. And as always, gamble responsibly and stay safe. Catch you next week.